February 24th. The weather finally cleared up in Xiamen. Today it's Karina's turn to take Rosie to school.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. And Papa too.
Okay. I had to get up and go to work, only to find that Karina hadn't taken my pants. The housekeeper was cleaning just outside my bedroom door. So I had to look through the crack of the door just like a spy, and quickly sneak out to get my pants when the housekeeper wasn't paying attention. Even though the weather is cleared up in Xiamen, I wore the ski long johns again before going out. After last time where I got an inflammation in a private area, this time I wore the long john inside out, so it would flex the heat away from my crotch. This way, it wouldn't be too hot while still keeping me perfectly warm. After I got to the studio downstairs, I found that Mimi hadn't come yet. I called him and asked him where he was. I was almost 100% sure that he would say, "Oops, I overslept." But what he said was, "Damn it, I overslept." Turns out I don't know enough about this guy. It's kind of mind-boggling. He told Bao that he dreamt that he had gone to work. And Bao showed me the chat history and said with a smile, "Mimi is indeed a drama king." Can't say I disagree with this. As a witness of Mimi's comic life, he has brought me so much happiness. Actually, I used to hate when people are late. I used to think that not only was he wasting his own time, but also Bao's and my time. But that day, I wasn't upset. Instead, I just sat down and casually drank my tea. Time has really smoothed out many of my rough edges. I gradually came to terms with a concept which would have been absolutely impossible for me when I was young. As a man letting things go a bit, and don't chase quick success so eagerly, it's not such a bad idea. It took Mimi an hour to get to the studio. While I was waiting for him, I finished my online class and reviewed my vocabulary for the day. When finished early with all that, it made me feel incredibly relaxed and refreshed. Because of the lunch thing in the last video, now every time I eat with those guys, it somehow feels like a strategic game. We went to eat satay noodles for lunch. Mimi, despite his hunger for delicious food, he just ordered a bowl of plain rice noodle. I told him, when you eat, don't play games. He said, "Not at all, I just don't feel hungry." I wasn't sure whether he was telling the truth, but if it's not true, his willingness to just give up the food, it means I had already lost. When it was Bao's turn to order, I was thinking if Bao would order a little bit less than me, on purpose. This way, I would be the one who ordered the most, and me picking up the bill becomes inescapable. I was mentally prepared at that time. I saw if Bao was also willing to give up the food, then I would lose willingly too. But I never imagined that Bao actually said to the waiter, "I want the same as him." I have to say that ordering it this way is extremely calculated. Even if he ordered just tiny bit more than me, he couldn't escape the risk of picking up the bill. But when he ordered the same as me, I couldn't let him pay, me being his boss. So when he said he wanted the same as me, he didn't have to give up food, and he didn't have to give up money either. That's real subtle. When you can experience this level of strategic thinking in life, it was worth it, and I paid 82 yuan for it. When we walked back to the studio, as we went past the subway station construction site, I asked them, "What do you think is the crappiest name for this subway station?" Bao said, "罚站," or 门口罚站. Mimi and I chuckled a bit. Maybe Bao saw that his answer was not funny enough. Then he said, "B 站." It was hilarious. Mimi suddenly got some inspiration from somewhere and shouted, "I've got one, 火车站." After he said that, he burst out laughing. I didn't think it was funny, but he laughed so hard, I guess everyone in the world laughed at their own jokes. When I went home in the afternoon, there was bad news coming from my wife's hometown. At first she said she wasn't worried. I think it was hard for her to believe that something like this could happen in her hometown. She was stuck to a screen all afternoon, watching the news. As the latest updates came in, she started to get emotional. As her sadness started to grow, so did my feeling of helplessness. We canceled a scheduled trip to Guangzhou Comic Con next day and took the afternoon off. This is the first time in my life that I have experienced a situation like this. A situation many people won't experience in a lifetime. I don't know what will happen to her. All I can do is stay by her side quietly. In the evening, she hadn't moved from the screen, still watching the news. She just sat there motionless, occasionally shedding a few tears and looking at the screen with blank stare. but overall, her mood was relatively stable. When we went to bed at night, we turned off the lights, and she suddenly covered herself, weeping. I asked her what's wrong. She said that she saw some people who were making memes about the incident in her hometown, which was heartbreaking. I used all my talents to try to comfort her with words, but in the face of this incident, what can words do? Seeing her so overwhelmed by all this, I was at a complete loss. February 25th, I watched Karina get up and send a message to her mom. Are you there? After more than 20 minutes, the check window lit up, and her mother replied in Ukrainian, yes. Just a few simple characters. Karina and I felt so relieved. At breakfast, we looked at the news comment section again and found that most people were clear-headed. Many who were silent at first started to speak up because they couldn't take memes anymore. Their voices gradually became mainstream. They made her feel a lot better. I took a look at Karina's personal updates and saw a lot of sober, comforting voices in the comments. I want to thank you for your kindness. After breakfast, I suggested taking her to the gym. She hesitated a bit, but finally agreed to go. As a normal civilian, when facing something like this, I feel as helpless as a speck of dust. All I can do is try to distract myself before the dust settles, and be mentally prepared to accept the worst possible outcome. Exercise was a nice distraction. It was the first time I saw a brief smile on her face since the incident began. I wish we could stop and give ourselves enough time to self-heal, give ourselves enough time to be strong, so we can put life's sorrows momentarily behind us. But life goes on, it doesn't stop. Rosie still has to go to school, I still have to work. Karina still has to wait in agony. We all have to deal with life, even if we can't fully control it. Although my company is far away, luckily my studio is just downstairs, just a minute's walk away. After we finished working, it was time for lunch. He again said he doesn't want to eat, just milk tea, because he had no appetite. Maybe because of all that happened, this time I believe what he said. After lunch, I went back upstairs. Karina was sitting in her spot, watching the news, worrying. I know that no matter what I do, I can't help. No matter what I say, it's useless. This makes me feel powerless. I can only quietly stay by her side. I tried doing my English homework to pass my time, but I was too sad to concentrate. I turned on a TV show. After 20 minutes, I realized that I had no idea what they were talking about. I turned off my phone and iPad, ordered something to eat, and had a hot bath. Rosie saw that I was having a bath, and she wanted to have a bath too.
我没有放屁。没有。
Then we ate and chatted for almost an hour. Who knew that words of child could be so therapeutic? I also need to be distracted, maybe even more than Karina, because only then can I be at my best, strongest, to face whatever comes next. It might be too much for her at some point, but I hope if that comes, I can be the pillar for her to lean on. In the bathtub, Rosie found a hole in the bathroom wall. She asked me why is the hole there. I said it's because the walls are old and broken. She asked me why. I said the things are break down when they are old. This is the law of nature. She asked me why, and I say because the time is the killer of all things. As the time goes by, everything in this world will get old. Puppies will get old, walls will get old, and people will get old. When I said this, I suddenly realized that maybe some people, our relatives, will no longer have the chance to grow old. And then my newly improved mood felt rock bottom again. The first thing Karina does when she wakes up is still to text her mom. Are you there? Luckily, she replied again. Karina told me to go to work. She said this thing has affected enough people. I don't want it to affect anything else. If you don't go to work, everyone in and the surrounding team will get a pay cut because they can't finish their work. After confirming her mood is stable, I went downstairs and opened the studio door. In the studio, Bob took out his mobile phone said he wanted some coffee and asked us if we wanted some. I said no. Mimi already had the coffee, but he still ordered a cup and drank it. Hence the reason for no appetite at lunch. We passed the roasted duck shop at noon. Mimi started to work faster. Ever since the time Mimi ordered a portion of the roasted duck for 15 yuan, but was served a whole duck and had to pay an extra 38 yuan. He had held a grudge against the owner of the shop. I asked him, do you hate him? He said, no, why should I hate him? So obviously, me and Bao wanted to have a roasted duck for lunch. After we sat down, Mimi looked uneasy. He turned his head away and started to play with a lock on the roadside. Maybe it was a grudge that was the reason why he didn't want to look at the owner. This shop used to be good. Maybe the owner doesn't care anymore. Because the roasted duck I had that day was terrible. It tasted like it had been in the freezer for too long. Luckily, Bao doesn't have much of a palate, so I gave him all my duck. After clearing the bowl, I was still hungry, so I ordered some McDonald's. You'd think that ordering at McDonald's is a walk in the park, but it's not. I only wanted one burger, but they had a buy one get one free deal. 2 burgers for 24.5 yuan. I won't say no to a free burger, but why make it so hard to choose with all those deals? I finally persuaded myself to place the order. I thought I just won't eat the last burger. I'll put it on the table. Even if Bao doesn't eat it, Mimi will definitely eat it in the end. In the end, the burger was indeed gone. In the afternoon, I posted the video I edited a few days ago. I didn't expect that such a boring video would have so many comments saying how much they like it. Nowadays, everything is so fast-paced. Through that video, I found that, no matter the pace, there are always people who share the same views, who feel the same feelings that I feel. We finished our work in the studio and I went home early. Karina's mood was okay, but I saw the helplessness in her eyes while she was watching the news. Before it was dark, I remembered we had the plans to go to a friend's house for dinner, a plan which was made a long time ago. So I asked Karina, maybe we should cancel. But she said you should take Rosie and go. A few days ago, before all this happened, Karina happily told me one night that she had summed up 3 ways to relax her mind. First, hang out with friends. Second, exercise. Third, be alone. Be free. I know she wants to be alone. She quickly helped Rosie get dressed, stuffed Rosie bag with toys, and almost kicked us out of the door. Take things as they come, I had a very fulfilling evening with Rosie. When I got home, it was past 11. As soon as I entered the house, Karina closed the iPad on the table, put down her phone, grabbed Rosie to take a shower, dried her hair, and went straight to bed without touching her phone again. I don't know if she was surprising her feeling, but I know that for a moment, nothing worse had happened at her mom's end. February 27. Are you there? Karina texted her mom. Her mom's chat window lit up again with a reply yes. Thank God. Yes means everything's okay. Sadness is the topic of the day, but I don't want to spare sadness in my video. For a moment that night, she seems to forget her grief.
This one is very cute. Look at this. It's macaroni.
Oh, it's too sweet. I can eat.
Look at this one.
This is, of course, trying to find happiness in hardship, compared with completely immersed in pain. It's better we can still find happiness. Since last video, a few people have accused me of not caring about major events. I don't know what they expect me to do. I guess they want to see me cry, see me in agony, maybe just give an angry speech. Before becoming the relative of someone directly involved, I also thought I would act like that, but when it really happened, I found out that we are tiny. So tiny that we can only self-heal and wait. And at the same time, we still have to hang on to our worries, continue to face life, face work, face the thing we have started to do but haven't finished, face the daily necessities, face the inescapable seconds, minutes, and hours. Alright, that's all for this video. My life with Karina is very ordinary and everything I share is sincere. If you have watched so far and through my sincerity feel the tiniest bit touched, I hope you will share this video so that more people can also feel the tiniest bit touched. In the past, when I was writing my journal and when I was speaking, I often used the word world peace as a common ending, a proper ending. But at that time, I actually didn't fully comprehend the feeling associated with these words. Now, I sincerely hope for world peace.